guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Barbell Brigade Talk Show. Today we got Nick and we got Eugene. And in the fitness space, I feel like there's like buzzwords that people generally hate in the actual fitness industry, but in terms of like mainstream media, it's a really commonly used word. So like for example, like toning, right? Like in the actual fitness industry, it's like, what the fuck do you mean by that? But in the mainstream, it's like, do this, fucking tones your groin or tones whatever. Like, what do you guys think could be, like if we had to be on their side, what do you think they're actually trying to say, and is there any type of legitimacy in these buzzwords?
In the word toning specifically, or are we looking at other words?
There's a couple of them, like toning or like muscle confusion.
People get really mad, like personal trainers get really mad about like toning. Like
they really do. They get triggered.
Yeah, they get like, they yell at their clients. And I used to do this. I used to get mad.
I don't know what you're doing.
Yeah.
You're gonna lump us all together here. Right?
No, but there's like a group of guys that like, especially on the internet, when you hear them talk about toning, they flip out and they do their videos, they talk into the camera, they yell at people about it. Yeah. Of like, toning's not a real thing, it's a buzzword, it's a marketing ploy, and they get really angered by it, they get triggered by it. But in reality, it's just like, you know what the client wants, they don't know any better. Yeah. They're coming to you for help. They want to get toned, and it's as a personal trainer or whatever you do, it's your job to be able to provide that service to them, and not get mad and like yell at people, because that's what I feel like people do on Instagram and TikTok. They just be yelling about toning all the time. Am I the only one, or am I just like, is my algorithm going crazy?
I think you're a very angry man. I think it's what we got from this conversation. And that's all for today, guys. See you guys next time.
That's 10 minutes.
Toning!
Dude, people get mad about that stuff.
They do.
They do.
They really do, though. They really do. And I think a big part of it is just, we need to be able to accept that not everybody has the same level of experience or knowledge, and that's fine. Like there was a time, many, many years ago, where I would have believed, oh yeah, toning is getting leaner, getting bigger, that's what I want. I want to be more toned or whatever. Like I remember I was in high school, I was like, Brad Pitt Fight Club, that was the look. And that's toned, like you might not use toned from a masculine kind of thing, but you would translate, say, yeah, it's his toned. I want to be toned like that. I don't want to be like, my mum loves the word toned.
Oh, she loves it?
She loves it. And I was like, yeah, cool. You want to be more toned? What's the harm in letting that person continue to use that language? Even if they know better, even if you know better and want to tell them better, what's the harm in them continuing to use that as a word? Who cares?
Yeah, you're reading them at their understanding.
Yeah. What's the point in giving them a lecture that they're going to forget anyway? You're doing a lecture for yourself or for your own ego, not for them to actually make them better. They're going to be berated and feel like shit. I'm like, yeah, just maybe work, see where they're at, see what they unpack, what they really want from toning. Oh, you want to get a bit leaner? Cool, nice. I remember when I was a personal trainer, I remember a guy came to me and he was like, oh, I want to get a lot bigger. I was like, okay, cool. And you think
ice cream.
Yeah, exactly. You think big, you think, oh, you want to bulk up, you want to put on some muscle mass, give him high protein, put him in a slight calorie surplus or whatever. And we were doing that for a long time and he wasn't happy for several months. I could tell he just wasn't happy. He was making progress. And I was like, okay, so what's going on? Why are you unhappy? And I said to him,
I want steroids is what I'm trying to say.
I should have asked him at the start, like what his definition of bigger was. And his definition of big was literally a Brad Pitt Fight Club or a Men's Health cover model. And this is just your average guy. And I was like, I've taken my bodybuilding mind of you want to be bigger. Like you want to be Ronnie fucking Coleman. Yeah. Not you want to be lean and svelte Brad Pitt Fight Club. That was his thing. He actually needed to get leaner. He didn't have to get bigger. So I was not able to meet him where he really was, which is why he was unhappy. And it was a miscommunication. And I should have said to him, like, hey, what does being bigger really look like or mean to you? And the same thing sort of happens with toning or whatever. Why don't we just have that question of, hey, what does that really mean to you? Unpack that and then say, okay, this is what they really want. Work towards that. Why bother arguing and yelling and screaming and hating on them?
Dude, I don't, I swear. I swear I don't.
Yeah.
That is something I do see online a lot, where I see like trainers or whoever, influencers, arguing. And then for me, I'm like, I don't think you guys have the same definitions of stuff. Yeah. And then so you're having like a useless argument because you could end up just being on the same page, but you guys don't even know.
That's really what
it's all
it is.
semantics.
Like there are semantics, it's definitions, lost in translation, and then most of the arguments that you see in our space, maybe in other space, I don't know other industries, but definitely in this fitness space, 90% of the arguments that I get tagged and say, hey, what are your thoughts on what Bart said about bench pressing or whatever? I'll be like, it's completely fine. Like what you're getting so worked up about is literally both of these other parties' definitions on whatever the argument is. And most of the arguments aren't really anymore about the content and the actual argument at fact. It's more about ego. It's more about, let me just tell you how good I am. It's butting heads between two alphas or whatever, when they should realize that, hang on, you actually are on the exact same page. Not even in a similar, I think you're saying the exact same fucking thing, but you have slightly different definitions or slightly different communications, and you're really butting heads because of your egos. So get rid of that shit.
I know, that's the hard part, because I follow some, even on the business like side of stuff, you know how like there's the whole school of thought of like the 4 a.m. make your bed.
Yeah, you have to.
yeah. And then I'd be like, someone will talk about, you know what, like 4 a.m. is not a direct contributor to your success or whatever.
Those are losers, dude.
Yeah.
Those are losers talking. That's what they'll say. Yeah. They're not alpha, dude. They're not alpha. That's what they say.
And then I scroll down, and the first comment I usually see is like, so what do you think about the guy that doesn't wake up at 4 a.m.? And they'll list that guy's name. Yeah. And I think they just want to see them either battle it out or roast their favorite person.
Sure, it's voyeurism, especially like with social media, everyone being so like, on their apps or whatever. It's just voyeurism. We want to see these fun debates, but we want to see our favorite action heroes fighting each other. That's what it is.
Yeah, because like I'm like, what's the take home from this? Like, let's say they both have a really good argument in the comment section. Does that make you successful now? Because that's ultimately the goal, right? Like you're following this guy who wakes up at 4 a.m. so you could be successful, but then this other successful person you follow doesn't wake up at 4 a.m. So what is your real like take-home message? It's just watching two people just have an argument for no reason.
They just want to see them duke it out. That's what it is. You wake up at 4 a.m.?
If I have to, I don't like it. Because I have a kid. So sometimes the only time I can get things done is like super early, but I don't ever go, that's the recipe, because you don't have to.
Yeah, for sure. I used to wake up at 4 a.m. and I did nothing. I thought that would, I'm gonna, it's peaceful, get shit done. I got nothing done. I was too tired.
You're falling asleep the rest of the day.
It's a horrible idea.
Is there any words out there that does like trigger you at all that you see, or you're like, they need to really get rid of this concept or phrase?
Man, if I had to really think about it, I'm sure there would be something. But I do my best to try to remain untriggered by as many things as possible. It doesn't trigger me. Like, I know it's incorrect, and like that's not something we can really do, unless you're taking like liposuction. Of course, it's gonna like rip it out of there. Sure, that's gonna work.
So let's say you're walking around a gym, and then there's this trainer that's like with their like very impressionable client, and he keeps saying, "This will target belly fat. This will target belly fat."
Yeah, do you punch him in the face or what?
That's what you do. Clearly. That's the immediate
is that
reaction.
the wrong etiquette? My bad. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you know what? This probably won't fly with everybody, but for me, I'm very much like a let live. Just live and let live. Unless if that person's coming to me. Yeah. Because you know what? As much as I know that would be incorrect, and I personally wouldn't do that, that trainer's probably doing it for a very good reason. I would assume. I would say, okay, that person's probably saying that to that client because that client just needs to hear that to make them more motivated. Yeah. I say, I don't understand the context, even though I know better. It's like, it's not targeting that, you're incorrect. Yeah. Me telling the person off, again, it's for me. It's not for their benefit, or it's not for the client's benefit, even though I'll guise it as, it's for the client's benefit. It's why I'm telling it. No, it's not. Yeah, what's for the client's benefit? Yeah, it's more for that. And I would in the past blow off about that, say, you're so wrong, you're an idiot, why you do that? And I realize, well, you know what, they probably have a good reason. And the reason is they're fucking wrong, they're an idiot.
That's tight, man. I like your very like calm, level-headed approach and like many options approach to fitness. Because I feel like almost every new platform, there's like this evolution where it's like, it gets more and more polarizing, like it was YouTube, and then everyone's kind of on the same page again, and then it was like TikTok. Now it's like there's like this warring section, and then it's just cool to hear again, like, dude, it just depends on what they're trying to do.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you guys for watching this video. There are no bad words. You got to open your eyes and your mind to see what everyone's saying. See you guys next time. Bye-bye.